You only got 2 months left. Well, that's sad. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the monthly video series that I'm going to try to maintain and keep going till the end of time. I need to know how many movies have you guys watched this month. If it was more than 10, blast that thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments down below which movie was your favorite, was your least favorite. And this is the October movie tier list featuring 20 films. And I'm, of course, going to give you guys my opinion on which movies deserve to go on what tier. And at the end of this video, as we always do, we are going to rank them from 1 to 20, or I guess 20 to 1. So let's start with the movie that we just talked about on this channel, and that is Countdown. I mean, you guys know where I fall with a film like this. A cliche, conventional, predictable horror movie is my least favorite kind of horror movie, and I've already completely forgotten about Countdown. Nothing sticks with me. It tries to shoehorn in a sequel. I don't need to go on. I just put out my review on this channel. It is not the worst movie I've seen all year, but I have to put it in the awful category, man. This is not a movie that is going to stick with me, and my goodness, they could have at least tried to give us something a bit different, but I've seen this movie 1,000 times before. Something that I have not seen 1,000 times before, and a movie that I am not going to forget anytime soon. The Lighthouse dropped this week. Another movie that I've talked about over the last couple of days, and I've not stopped thinking about it. It has the same impact that another movie on this list has, and it holds some of the best filmmaking I've seen all year. Grand, epic performances from Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, both who I believe deserve to be nominated. A score for the ages, haunting cinematography, and just a story that may be a bit too out there for some, but it combines horror and mystical elements and just so many things to latch onto with this film. I truly believe The Lighthouse is not okay, is awesome. I think The Lighthouse is an awesome movie and one that is going to stick with me for a long time. And I'm actually going back next week to watch it again. Let's talk about two Will Smiths. Gemini Man. Was that the theme song? Gemini Man. No. Well, it's late. Gemini Man stars Will Smith and Will Smith. This is a movie that I wanted to be better than it ended up being. Now, I didn't hate this film. I know a lot of people who were giving us like half a star and 1 star, and listen, I get it. It's lazy. The script is bad. The dialogue is rough. I'm a Will Smith fan. I still thought Will Smith was really good in the movie. I thought the visual effects were phenomenal in certain scenes, a little bit of PlayStation 2 in other scenes, but I didn't hate the movie. I mean, I may be a bit more positive than some others, but I'm still going to put it on the meh tier because it's not going to stick with me. Are you kidding? In terms of big blockbusters this year, there have been a few to hit really hard and be fantastic. Gemini Man, unfortunately, falls into that grander category of disappointing blockbusters in 2019, both from a critical standpoint and from a box office standpoint. It's not been good for Gemini Man. By the way, another box office video coming today, so be on the lookout for that. Let's talk about Jay and Silent Bob. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. If you guys are a fan of Kevin Smith and you know what he does with his movies, this is like the Avengers Endgame of the Kevin Smith Askewniverse. Like, this is everything that I think fans are wanting to see from a movie like this. If you love the first Jay and Silent Bob, there is nothing to dislike about this. If you thought it was okay, you may like this one better. I thought Jay and Silent Bob Reboot did everything it needed to do. A crazy amount of ridiculously awesome cameos. Is it the best movie on a technical scale? No. Is the script really tight? Not necessarily, but I had a lot of fun in the theater. There is no denying that. I'm going to put Jay and Silent Bob Reboot on the okay category. It's not a bad thing. It's still okay. Let's talk about The Laundromat. One that did not have the best experience. It had a phenomenal cast in the same vein of some of the better, more higher quality movies I've seen this year. You have Meryl Streep, Antonio Banderas, Gary Oldman. What happened, Steven Soderbergh? This film, it's not boring because it combines so many crazy elements and you're telling multiple stories and you got some voiceovers, some breaking the fourth wall. It's trying to be The Big Short. It even says that in the IMDb summary. Unfortunately for me, The Laundromat, if you saw my review, you know I believe this movie fell flat. Another misfire is Rattlesnake. Reviewed this on Friday night. The review's on the channel if you want to go check that out. But here's my quick thoughts. It's an interesting beginning. you set up some really cool things, and then it's like 45, 50 minutes of nothing. A cool ending, but I was so bored through this film. It's all about a woman who is trying to save her child by having to do a task basically sent to her by the devil. She has to get even for her child being saved by this witch kind of character, and the getting even part is the really boring part, and my goodness, what a slog. What a slow movie to try to get through. It is one that was almost on the awful tier, but when I compare it to the other movies, at least it has a bit of solid filmmaking, some decent performances. It looks good, but it was a very slow-moving story, and unfortunately, it's one I have to put on the bad tier. Eddie Murphy is back. We're still talking about the movies that I just recently reviewed, but Dolemite Is My Name is a film that was just so much fun to watch. So much freaking fun to get through. Now, I am between, honestly, I'll be frank with you guys, I'm between the good and the great category. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go good. It's still good. I am very close to being great because of that performance from Eddie Murphy, which I believe is Oscar quality. Do I think he'll get nominated? No. Too many good performances this year. Is he in the top 10 that I've seen this year? Probably. I mean, he's phenomenal. This gives him the opportunity to do exactly what you want to see from Eddie Murphy, plus giving a good performance, plus working with a good script, plus solid directing, a well-executed movie talking about this true story. Just a lot of really great things to rave about with Dolemite Is My Name. A blast, an absolute blast if you want to go check it out. It is on Netflix right now. Let's talk about In the Tall Grass, the brand new Stephen King movie on Netflix, and there's some really cool things in the first act of this movie, and then the film falls apart. Unfortunately, I didn't get much out of it. I really didn't. I wanted to like the payoff. I wanted to understand what the big rock was and what the actual point of everything. I didn't quite get there. Patrick Wilson was really good in this movie, but there is a moment towards the end when he does something, and that something made me sit back and go, this movie just went off the deep end. It is one of those Stephen King films that unfortunately falls flat because it's so outlandish. It does not hook you like the It's and the Gerald's Games of the world. I'm not going to say it's the worst thing I've ever seen, but for me, it's meh. Another meh horror film. I've given a lot of those the meh tier this year, unfortunately. Oh, look, Eli. Let's put it on the meh tier. Another horror movie in the same vein as In the Tall Grass, except I actually like Eli a bit more. There are certain reasons why Eli falls flat. Here's what I like about the movie. It does go for it in that third act. It gives you this twist that, it doesn't necessarily make things better. For me, the twist actually falls flat, but at least they tried, you know? Up until that point, I've seen this film before. Well, actually, I've seen Bubble Boy, so I've seen this movie done very differently. This really does fall into that category, unfortunately. It tries, and there are good moments, and I really like the main kid. Eli is forgettable, and that's really sad. Oh, look, the Addams Family. Da-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Awful tier. We're going to put this on the awful tier. That was stupid. The Addams Family is an animated movie that, frankly, I wasn't all that excited for, but I still wanted to give it a chance because I love the original Addams Family TV show. I'm a big fan of the 90s movies. This film did not capture the magic whatsoever. It was a bland story. It was a story that goes in an odd direction with the realtor and those really over-the-top extra characters, the new characters that I don't think we needed. Just give us an Addams Family story. I liked what they were trying to do with the kids and to build this up and to bring in a coming-of-age element to it, but it did not quite work. I actually thought the animation was really bland. I saw some people praising it for the animation. I hate that animation has been so subpar this year. Sure, we've had some great animated movies, but we've also had a lot of clunkers, and this falls into that category, unfortunately. Next up, we have The Influence, and talk about really bland and forgettable horror that just does not stick with you. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the bad tier, man. The Influence is one that I have already, I said forgettable a while ago, but man, I just don't remember a lot from this movie. A few moments of striking imagery. It is a Spanish horror film on Netflix, and I think the acting is pretty solid, and there are moments that I looked at and said, this could have been something more than what it was, but it just did not quite get there. Horror, man. Clearly, from this tier list, you're looking at it, it's so hard to get right. And this is just another example of something that didn't do it for me. Next, yeesh. Should I create another category? I've not done it up until this point, so I'm not going to do it. In terms of below awful, let me tell you, Dhoom Annihilation, don't watch it. If you're a fan of the video game, don't watch this. If you're a fan of the movie before this, do not watch this. This is actually not set in the same universe. It's a brand new thing. And I actually heard, after I did my review, that this was made so they could keep the rights to Doom. Makes a lot of sense. This thing is horrible. Awful. Low budget, bad CGI, uninteresting character. I don't even want to go on. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to waste time on it. If you've seen Dhoom Annihilation, sorry. Maleficent. I said I wouldn't get to say that again. Maleficent, the mistress of evil, is meh. I'm going to keep it on meh, because I did not get it too fresh. I got it right there. Maleficent, I almost said Maleficent again. Maleficent is there because Angelina Jolie. If they did not have Angelina Jolie, I think they just would have went with the original storyline. I found the first to be even worse than this one. I know a lot of people disagree with me. Trust me, I saw the comments. But this one did a few things a bit better. I thought some of the imagery was great. I liked the third act. A lot of people didn't like the third act, but at least it was fun, right? It wasn't as dull as the first movie. But, you know, it's kind of a cash grab if you think about it. It's not going to be a cash grab because it's not doing very well at the box office. But it is a story that I think is a bit unnecessary. It's fine for what it is. Honestly, I didn't have a horrible time in the theater. Some really epic moments. Chiwetel Ejiofor pops up in there. Some really nice performances. I don't think these actors were not trying. But Maleficent, Mistress of Evil is just a movie that, you know, it exists. And I guess a lot of people are happy for that. I'm teetering between two tiers here because my score indicates that I can either honestly put it on one or the other. Gosh. Let's go awesome, man. Let's be super positive today and put Jojo Rabbit on the awesome tier. I had a wonderful time with this movie. Seriously, such a fun time. Taika Waititi was awesome. Scarlett Johansson drops one of her best performances. All of the kids, the little girl, the two boys, they're all fantastic. Jojo steals the entire movie, and you're going up against some of the best actors in the business. Sam Rockwell is incredible. Heck, Rebel Wilson made me laugh consistently throughout. Everyone in this movie knocks it out of the park. It is a clear satire. It tiptoes around the lines that you have to tiptoe around when dealing with a subject like this. Some people want to call it Inglourious Basterds light. I would say Jojo Rabbit is completely different than that. It's its own thing, and it also nails the emotion. Little Monsters. Let's put Little Monsters on the good category. I liked this movie. I have encountered some that did not like this movie and found it to be just another attempt at a satirical take on a zombie genre film. And many say they missed the mark on that attempt. I found it to be really solid, man. I did. I like the performances. Lupita Nyong'o is awesome. I think the kids are fantastic. Her leading them through this zombie apocalypse, both of them trying to save these kids' lives and just doing it in the funniest way possible. Josh Gad is obnoxious in this movie, but he was funny. I mean, I laughed consistently all the way through. This is a nice movie. Fractured. Here we go. Fractured. Oh, man, this review was so divisive. I had so many in the comments just, Dustin, what's wrong with you? You don't like Fractured? I'm like, sorry, guys. And people mistake my opinion as fact, and they get mad at me, and they dislike my video. And I'm sitting there like, I didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't like the movie very much. If you enjoyed Fractured, that's okay. That's one thing I try to convey on my channel. Is like, you know, a little bit of positivity, even though I'm really negative about movies sometimes, clearly. But just because I didn't like a film doesn't mean you don't have to not like the film. Movies are all about, they're built for you to share your opinion, whether that differs or whether you agree with what I have to say. And Fractured is the prime example of, and I hate to say it like this, a Netflix audience that, you know, they just don't go to the cinema very often. They don't get out cinema. Martin Scorsese. They just don't watch as many movies as we do. And that's okay. I'm sure plenty of you guys are normal and don't watch as many movies as I do. I'm clearly obsessed. But Fractured is one of those, if you really enjoyed it, then I have a feeling you haven't seen Shutter Island. I have a feeling you just haven't seen other movies like this, because most of them have been done way better than Fractured was. I just found Fractured to be one of those films that didn't work for what it was trying to do. And I explained that in my review. I don't want to get into it again, because that review was, I just watched it the whole time, just like, y'all get mad at me. Okay, El Camino. El Camino, it's another one I'm teetering between great and awesome. As a Breaking Bad fan, man, let's keep being nice. I don't know if there's going to be any great movies. El Camino, man. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, you're going to love this movie. No doubt. You might be a little disappointed with the pacing. You may be a bit upset that there's not as much action as anticipated. There's a certain bald cap in this movie that doesn't work the best. But overall, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie, is one of those that really pays off. For me, anyways, pays off on the fact that it is a Breaking Bad movie. It caps off this storyline of Jesse. I thought it was so well made. It was so artistic. If you are into extremely artistic, maybe a good slow-paced film, El Camino may be a movie for you, even if you haven't seen the series. Overall, I loved it. Not everyone agrees with me, but that is okay. Some people found it way too slow, and I understand that. But everything that I wanted was in the film. Wounds is another horror misfire. Gosh, I feel bad. It's October, and look at all of the horror movies in the low tiers. I really do feel bad, but not about this movie. This was really, really horrible. One of the most dull and bland experiences I've had all year. I'm speaking in monotone because that's the way this film made me feel. And the biggest and most upsetting part about this film is the fact that the payoff is nothing. It's not, the movie literally, and not to spoil anything major, it literally cuts to black. I mean, what a dull experience. I never want to revisit Wounds. It was not, a couple of moments of nice horror imagery, but it's all about Armie Hammer just running around panicking because his phone's being weird. Let's move on to Zombieland. Hey, at least Zombieland was funny, right? I thought this sequel worked, man. I thought this sequel was good. I really did. And Zombieland is interesting because it's one of those movies that I had to revisit multiple times to fully appreciate it and say the first one is great. Did a double feature with Zombieland 1 and 2. Zombieland 1, awesome on the big screen. Never got to see it on the big screen. And then Zombieland Double Tap comes, captures everything. The emotion, the characters, the chemistry, the story was solid, wraps up super quick at the end. I had some issues with the third act. They rushed through a few things. Overall, what's the number one rule with the comedy? Doesn't make you laugh. This one made me laugh. I think it's a really good movie. Oh, man. Y'all know. You know, this is the one that I put last on purpose. Where's it going to go? Come on. We're going to get into the ranking here in just a second. You saw that. We're going to get into the ranking here in just a second. And I'm interested to see, before I actually get into that, if you haven't commented already, comment down below. What do you think is going to be number one? So let's do it, guys. Let's rank all 21 of these movies. 21? Austin, I thought there were 20. Well, I left one off the template. We'll get to it here in just a second. Starting at the bottom, of course, Dhoom Annihilation at 21, followed by Wounds, right where it needs to be. The Addams Family coming in at number 19, and then Countdown, number 18. Let's get out of that tier. The next tier up, we have The Influence, followed by Rattlesnake, followed by Fractured at number 15, and The Laundromat at number 14. At 13, we are going to do In the Tall Grass, followed by Eli, Gemini Man coming in at number 11, and Maleficent, the number 10 movie I saw in October. At number 9, The Death of Dick Long. Sorry, guys, forgot to put it on the template, and here's the real reason why. I actually did not review it on my YouTube channel. My full review is on Patreon. Overall, I would recommend the film. It's an A24 movie, but it's not one that hit me as hard as I think it wanted to hit me. I enjoyed certain characters. It has a bit of crime, a bit of drama, a bit of comedy in there. It's not a bad movie. I enjoyed the experience. I just wanted a bit more out of it, and that's my bad for not putting it on the list. Next up is Jay and Silent Bob, obviously, at number 8. Little Monsters at 7. Zombieland Double Tap at 6. Dolemite Is My Name, my number 5 movie in the month of October. Now we get into the top 4. This is a very difficult ranking, but I think I know exactly what I'm going to do. At number 4, El Camino. At number 3, I'm going to do Jojo Rabbit. My 2 and 1 are very difficult, but I am going to go Lighthouse at 2, and Joker is my number 1 movie in the month of October. there it is, guys. There's my list. All 21... Sorry, not 20. 21 movies ranked. All of my reviews are either on YouTube or Patreon or Letterboxd. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Like I said, I need your lists in the comments down below. Which movie was your favorite? Which one was your least favorite? Is there a film that I missed that you would recommend? If you're wondering where Black and Blue is on this list, obviously did not get a chance to check it out. I will hopefully check it out eventually. When I do, that will be on Letterboxd. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Your support on here, on Patreon, on Letterboxd, wherever we're doing things and talking about movies. That's what we love to do on this channel. You guys are truly the best, and I'll see you soon.